Global warming caused by the burning of fossil fuels is melting the polar ice caps, raising the sea levels, drowning entire island nations in the South Pacific, and threatening all life on Earth, including the human race, with extinction, as the frozen methane hydrate gas in the Arctic melts and bursts out into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I know. Police are out there, don't worry, doggy. It's going to be all right. This gentleman is from ITV. He's coming to cover the protest today. And those are our friends that... No, that's all right, it's all right. No, that's all right. I'm letting this guy in.
If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to know it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Yeah, I saw those guys there. I mean, in terms of the cycle, have you announced that, or are they just pick it up from social media stuff? Yeah.
You can do it in front of the banners if you want.
Right,
You're welcome to do that, yeah. Danny, that gentleman's from ITV. I've introduced him to Andrea, and at some point he's going to interview Andrea about the climate camp.
Okay,
at the moment he's interviewing Sheila about the bike ride.
Hey, mummy.
And
that's perfect.
That's about it.
It is a fly trap, this place. Yeah. I managed to lure them
You're
in.
going to be famous.
I don't want to be famous.
No, that's good. Excellent.
Yeah, that's the best way, because
Yeah.
it's very scary if someone does want to be famous and they get famous.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll take it with a power pack and I'll try something.
There's kind of flags are behind you, so. Okay, so half an inch to your left.
Stop the music, man. Stop the music.
Okay. So if you can stay reasonably rooted to the spot for me, that'd be great. Okay. So, well, tell me what's the point of today? Again.
So,
Look at me, ignore the camera.
sorry. I should say reclaim the power as well, which is who we are.
Well, okay, tell me what group you're from, and then we'll
My name's Sheila. I'm from a grassroots direct action network called Reclaim the Power. We campaign on a variety of issues, tackling social, climate, environmental, economic injustices.
pretty comprehensive. So, what's today all about?
Today is about sending a strong message to our government, to transport ministers all over the world, to say that we need to stay grounded in climate science and stop airport expansion.
And so what are you doing?
We've got two elements of the protest today. We've got a bunch of people who are cycling en masse, a critical mass bike ride, who will be cycling along a route which will pass by the airport. It will also stop by a detention centre in Harmondsworth, where people who often have been displaced through forced migration due to climate change are ending up in our detention centres and then ironically flown to countries where they could possibly face death or persecution by the aviation industry. So the aviation industry is completely complicit in that. We're also going close by to Heathrow Airport. This is about the fact that the government is due to make an announcement as to which Airport is going to receive a new runway, where they want to build a new runway. It's likely that it's going to be Heathrow, and we want to say that if we want to take climate change seriously, we cannot be building any new runways.
So where we are now is essentially going to be a new runway potentially.
Where we are now is a place called Grow Heathrow, and it occupies a piece of land in Sipson Village where potentially a third runway would be built. So this entire village and all of its residents would be completely uprooted, and all the remaining residents would have to deal with the incredible noise and air pollution in the local area.
So,
aside from that, we also have the fact that a new runway would cause increased amounts of global warming through the carbon emissions. I mean, a new runway at Heathrow Airport would actually produce the same amount of carbon emissions as the whole of Kenya. What we're talking about is something that is going to be devastating the lives of millions around the world. And all of this is for the benefit of actually what is a minority of people who are the affluent frequent flyers who take most of the flights from the UK. This is for leisurely flights, short distance flights that could easily be taken by train. So this is about serving the needs of a wealthy minority at the expense of everybody in the world.
do you think that events like today will make much of a difference? I mean, I can. Your argument is strong and well made, and
I was going to tell you about the other part of the action.
Okay, well, so the flashmob, about that.
Okay, so the other part of the other part of the demonstration today is a flash mob. So hundreds of people are expected to turn up at Heathrow Airport today to perform a die-in, where hundreds of people will lie down on the floor, representing the hundreds of thousands of people who are dying today each year from climate change. And if we don't do something soon, that number is going to increase to millions, because aviation is the fastest growing source of carbon emissions, and it is ironically exempt from all climate change targets, all agreements. The Paris Agreement excludes aviation. Our own Climate Change Act excludes aviation and is allowing aviation to expand. And everybody else is going to have to pick up the price for that.
So, but realistically, what difference do you think an event like today will make?
What we want to do with today's action is send a strong message to the aviation industry that people are not going to be standing for this. We do not want a new runway, not at Heathrow, not at Gatwick, and not anywhere. This is about sending a strong message to the aviation industry and to the UK government. Right now, in Montreal, in Canada, ministers from all over the world are meeting with aviation bosses at an international summit to discuss the future of global aviation. And what they're trying to do is push a bogus solution of carbon offsetting in order to legitimise continued expansion and growth in the aviation industry, under the premise, the illusory premise, that this makes it sustainable. This is not sustainable, and what we need to be doing is cutting emissions, actual emissions today.
The problem is, I think no one would disagree with that, but of course it's about getting the critical mass to get people to change their minds. At the moment you're already on the fringes. How can you convert this into a mainstay political force?
Today's action is inviting hundreds of people to take part. These are a lot of these people will have never taken part in anything like this before. This is about bringing lots more people on board, explaining the issue, raising awareness around the issue of aviation expansion. A lot of people mistakenly believe the rhetoric that we need to expand our airports because otherwise our economy will fall behind and we will fall behind the rest of Europe and the rest of the world. This is a myth that has been spread by the aviation. This is a myth that's been spread by the aviation industry to legitimise and to give reason for us to need to expand our airports. And actually it's unnecessary, it's unjust, and we need to stop it. So by inviting lots of people to be part of this protest today, we're raising awareness around the issue, we're expanding the movement, and building, it's a continued attempt to build a critical mass of people to say no, we need to stop airport expansion now.
Hello. So I guess from today, where do we go? Because this,
we haven't left yet, you'll be pleased to know. Are you on your way?
Excuse me?
Oh, well done.
Excuse me? Excuse me? She's poking.
No. Oh, yeah, good, well done.
Cool. So, I mean, so should the worst happen this, this month, the third runway gets the go-ahead. What do you do from there? What's the sort of the future 12 months, future 24 months? What are you planning? What's going to be happening to try and turn things in your way?
We want as many people to become aware of the issues around aviation expansion and how actually this is about serving the needs of a minority few at the expense of everybody. Often this is in parts of the world where they've least contributed.
And you really want to show if you're happy and clap your hands. Oh, come on, you lot.
Just pick up again. So where do we go from here? I mean, should you ultimately lose this month? How do you turn that into a win down the road?
What we're doing here is building a critical mass. This is just the beginning of an ongoing escalation of action. We need to be seeing an increase in action. We need to see people taking more action against the aviation industry, because this cannot be allowed to perpetuate. This is about meeting the needs of a wealthy minority of people at the expense of hundreds of thousands, soon to be millions of people who are in parts of the world that have least contributed to climate change. These are the poorer parts of the world are being hit first and hardest by the impacts of climate change. We need to be seeing this as a global issue. Today's action is also part of a whole global wave of actions around the aviation industry. This is not just about the UK. This is actually about an international movement, and we've hooked up with international movements from so many other countries. Turkey, Italy, France, Germany, Indonesia, and they're all taking action against the aviation industry. We need to be building a stronger international movement that is able to take increased action. The more the industry perpetuates and tries to push aviation growth, the more we are going to rise up against that and say, no, we cannot have airport expansion.
Right. Mr. Grab that microphone.
I don't know how would that be. They're brewing something in the background as well, which leads up to that.
Just sort of pull that down into the switch.
Yeah, that's right. We're increasing international cooperation with grassroots organizations and people who are being hit by climate.
No, but we're soon to leave it to our bike.
Okay, well I'll be up there in a minute.
Humankind has unleashed on this planet.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I don't know if everybody wants to be filmed, Nick.
Yeah, okay, but the TV are filming.
Hey, how are you?
Someone will have one.
Given away on his recording. Do you want your telephone number?
Yes, I know who he is.
You're happy for your telephone number to be on what he's streaming?
Yeah. Oh, is he streaming?
Yeah.
No.
Right. No, I'd rather you didn't.
Oh, can't get the key. Right. This is going to be fun.
Guys, they are expanding. You should go.
Like the news like what it's going to look like on the day. It looks really beautiful. Everyone's like, really putting the effort in. So it's fucking great. Lovely banners, flags, etc. I just want to go through a few like safety things quickly, and just like give an overview of the people that have just turned up. So, like importantly, there's like really no need to speak to the police. Like we do have police liaison officers to do that for us. Also, like in terms of like cycling. Please stick together, get a buddy if you can, and stick with your buddy, keep an eye on them. let's not leave anyone behind to get a flat tyre. That's everyone's responsibility to just keep an eye out for your fellow comrade. Going through red lights, let's do that all together and not leave anyone behind. And we have got blockers to block roads, so that should make that a lot easier. Also, like obviously, if you haven't done a critical mass before, drivers can get a bit aggy, but just be friendly back. They're not going to do anything, just be friendly. Keep positive attitude. We are going to stop at the detention centre, halfway around the ride, and when we get there we're going to do a little ride around the detention centre, and we want to like make as much noise as possible so they can really hear us in the detention centre there. Alright, there might be like a few little changes of the plan of the route on route, but just don't worry, should all be safe and fun, and like have a great time. Thanks for coming. Nice one, guys. There's something else to say, hang on.
There's going to be one part of the ride where there'll be one because some very important area still stay mobile, but that may create a slight bit of disruption. If anyone feels uneasy about that, then follow the two people who have orange flags on their flag.
Who are you with?
ITV.
ITV. Oh yeah, there's someone else here from ITV.
Yeah, I kind of spotted the kit.
Right. Yeah, he's just coming. This gentleman here.
Following the rest of the group. Those are great officers. And then we'll end up here, and there'll be, we'll get together with the flashlight and hear what's been going on with them, and share stories, and hear what's been going on all around the world.
I think I'm relying a lot on their studies a lot.
In Mexico City, around Mexico, in Jeddah, we've also got an action state rapid in Turkey, and just also, I guess, remembering how lucky we are in the country today to protest today in Mexico City 2 days ago.
Sheila, oh yeah. This is Connor, who can...
Hi, I'm
This is the privilege that we have, and let's try and do it the best way that we can for ourselves, for the people around us.
Or a couple of people would be great.
We just asked the people with the orange flag. You guys on the left-hand side. No, that was great. Basically, because Gary's with the president,
Yeah, it's going well. You've got the red light.
Oh yeah, especially. I was riding all the way here with my red umbrella at the front with a little
yeah, really did that well. It's a great
The right about now is all about each wheel.
Shake up your bum when the time come beating. Ladies, shake up your bum when the time come beating. Girl, me love how you wine, just come and put it for me. Don't you know, shy my girl, just bring it, give me. Girl, me want you to wiggle it, jiggle it, put it for me. Girl, me love when you wiggle it, jiggle it, put it for me. Bam bam.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Plane ready?
Plane is always ready.
Plane is always ready.
See you later.
We're gonna go see your big uncles over there. Big nasty evil uncle. Three and four nights in the bag
Right, get your bike, Hannah.
You on? I'm coming up behind you.
Viva la revolution!
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, dog.
Viva la revolution!
Sorry, G, I think you're a policeman.
Crazy.
Just my job is
Alright, and I'm going to head off.
Hang on, I'm not too sure about all this.
Cheers, guys.
Hang on, Danny, I'm not too sure about all this.
Did anyone see which way they went?
If Heathrow gets it, Gatwick will take Heathrow to call. If Gatwick get it, Heathrow will take them to call. Stop messing around, just do something one way or the other.
Yeah, they want to expand everything anyway. It's capitalism is growth, endless growth beyond
the whole Brexit
resources.
thing, yeah, I think they're probably looking at what's positive. What's more positive than saying we're going to spend a shitload of money on this?
Things in the air, but
yeah, it's good psychology.
A lot of money nobody's got, but let's spend it anyway.
Yes,
I'm sure the good old public services don't mind not having to pay your eyes again.
No, I was just saying that the ABC of socialism.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've read a lot. I've read a lot of this kind of thing. So
never puts you to sleep at night.
I like that it's all written in red. Is that? Do you think that's deliberate?
Oh, sorry. Right.
We had neighbours who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, can't check your neighbours.
Yeah, it's nothing particularly.
Looked a bit terrifying. No, it's just
well, I expect they're used to it.
To be perfectly honest, I want to see when I get to go. First here, last to go.
Tomorrow.
We all know everyone's having a good time. We're not going to be going on the airport happy days.
Yeah, basically, that's all we got planned.
To be honest, that's the main issue is that it's not you going up and down the streets happy days.
But if I just accept them, would you accept that the EU is forcing terrorists on you at 1,800 or something. So we're trying to get the people not to go or do spoiled boats because the question is very stupid. Don't take part in that because it just leads to they're trying to get more power. It's already very dictatorial and very bad, and they're being controlled by Putin. But now it's
she was going to slow this off it up. Somebody
different mix.
Yeah, loads of people now. And yet she didn't.
Good evening. Yeah, but this has been fun. I'm not a bit worried about that.
Are you still eligible to vote from here?
No, they made it impossible.
But you have to be
Romania, yes.
Anyway, I think you guys are going to have a party.
For you to, if you're Hungarian national.
Cool, celebrate having a good day, mate. It's a Saturday.
You have to be resident.
Yeah, it's a good day for a party. You have to go home for work, that's the thing. And, but not everyone, just people living in.
So I hope you have a good weekend.
It's money here.
Haven't seen it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, just
Because
We're
they
local
got
anyway, so I'm sure we'll probably see you all
for letting
in coming weeks. I would imagine.
Sure.
Because I'm sure this isn't a one-off, is it?
Well, it's good to have these kind of connections because, like, occasionally we get someone who's a bit too violent, and it's good if it's good if like the police can deal with that person rather than just shutting down the whole thing.
Like I said, we're from Heathrow anyway, so it's good to have somebody who's local, who knows what the situation is, who knows what the laws are, more importantly, because you get some people from central London who come in and they don't really know all the little intricacies of the airport, do they? So, and what all this stuff is. Same time next Saturday.
Can't quite do it that fast, but you know, the more in this, we need to stop this. We need to act quickly before climate change gets out of hand. So there'll be more people who want to be involved. We'll do more stuff.
Not having so wet weather. Because I think I looked at the forecast this morning for rain all day, and in the air traffic control they've got up to a minute stuff, and they said at midday it's just going to pour with rain all day. Speaking of which,
right. Well, why don't you get wet?
I think we'll get in our car.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for making it interesting. There was nothing happening. Grounded and.
No, I didn't. But I was so I couldn't make it, and it's like okay.
On the cycle ride, like I really wish that I could have come. I unfortunately am not as physically fit as probably the majority of you, so that was not going to happen. Instead, I went and died on the floor in Terminal 2, which was great. There was like so many of us out there, so much power out there, so much energy. It was hilarious. There were photographers everywhere. No one had a clue what was happening. Like people just died on the floor, and then like people started speaking, and then. After the people started speaking, saying their pieces, and then the fast trackers. Well, we had some really, really smartly dressed people that were just watching us all die on the floor. And then when it came to their time, they tiptoed themselves in amongst us, all us dirty, scrawny, like dead people that can't afford to go on flights for 2 miles and pay ridiculous amounts of money for it. So they were walking through us, and they each one of them was saying these really hilarious, just like, you know, people were walking over me saying, "Get out of the way!" You're like, "Why are you being so inconvenient, dying at my feet? That's ridiculous." What an inconvenience! How dare you? Like, how dare my flight just make you like? Sorry. How dare you just fall on the floor because I'm about to get a flight?
2 minutes.
Basically, the high polluters. Oh, frequent flyers, high polluters. So we had a check-in desk they had a big banner up that was frequent flyers, high polluters, and a certain person, I don't know who he was, big ups to him wherever he is, I don't know where he is, but yeah, basically he did a bit of a shout out, sort of a check-in calling for all of the high polluters, frequent flyers, if you'd all like to come and check in now. So that's when they started walking up. That's when they started tiptoeing over us all dead people. We were like, ugh, how inconvenient is it you to die at my feet? Like, ugh, so rotten. And they just tiptoed all the way over to go and get their champagne. Where was my glass of champagne, by the way? So they did that. They did that bit, and then basically after that, which I didn't know about that was going to be happening. So someone, sorry babe, someone, I don't know if she's here, but she sort of got up and was like, so everyone that's dead on the floor, you should have some paper next to you with some song words on it. Let's all start singing. And we all started singing. It was brilliant. Like 5 old songs. Oh.
Can you sing a song?
Sing the song. Go green, go green, go green, go green. You know you just can't take away our land. Go green, go green, go green.
Don't think that we
Can take, yes we can. Appreciate the amazing
There's a chair here.
I feel time is too short. I'm being bullied off the stage. Guys, thank you so much for all your help today. You've all done so many people so proud. Well done. Yeah, let's do some songs.
Which one?
That one seems good.
That one, okay.
Yeah, that was a brilliant one. That was the best one.
So imaginatively called Go Green to the tune of Jolene. Okay, so this is the chorus. Go green, go green, go green, go green. We're asking you to leave, don't take our land. Go green, go green, go green, go green. Don't think that we can't stop you, 'cause we can. Now I could easily understand how you could want to mine our land, but you don't know what it means to us. Go green. Its beauty is beyond compare, a common land for all to share, and you don't know what it means to us. Go green. Go green, go green, go green, go green. We're asking you to leave, don't take our land. Go green, go green, go green, go green. Don't think that we can't stop you, 'cause we can. Now sure, this area needs the jobs, it needs 1,000,000 climate jobs. Take your trucks away and go in peace, go green. While CO2 is on the rise, you're standing there in mock surprise. We have to keep it in the ground, go green. Go green, go green, go green, go green. We're asking you to leave, don't take our land. Go green, go green, go green, go green. Don't think that we can't stop you, 'cause we can. This planet is our only home, no planet B, we're all alone. We have to keep it in the ground, go green. No other minds will break this ground, the dragon's going to take you down. We have to keep it in the ground, go green. Go green, go green, go green, go green. We're asking you to leave, don't take our land. Go green, go green, go green, go green. Don't think that we can't stop you, 'cause we can.
That was beautiful. I wish I was there. Now let's hear from what happened on Bike Block. Sheila, would you like to tell us something about it?
Big up to Sheila!
Big up to all of you for turning up today and taking part in something amazing. So I just want to say one more thing that I just seen online, and that is, and one thing that I heard about the flash mob. So apparently Heathrow staff members were seen to be told off for watching the flash mob. And think it went something like, "We told you not to watch this and you're still watching it." So the airport workers prepared to put their job on the line because it was so gripping. So thank you, big up to everyone. And the Evening Standard headline is "Carnage as protesters take over Heathrow Airport." So we fucking did it, man, we fucking did it. So while you lot were all dying, we set off from here in a massive convoy. It looked amazing, we were all in red. We had sound systems, we had a wood burner making chai. We cycled from here and we went to the detention centre, Colnbrook Detention Centre, where we made a lot of noise for the people inside to hear us. And we had speaker from
Christine?
No, Christine, and who was the speaker? Soasti Denise Support. Talking about the detention centre, talking about people in the detention centre, and highlighting the link between climate change and detention centres, because people are being forced into mass migration because of climate change, causing drought and famine. And some of those people are ending up in our detention centres and then being forcibly flown back to countries where they face persecution or death. So the aviation industry is totally complicit in this. It is completely linked, and we were there to show that link and to highlight that the detention centres need to be stopped down and we need to stop airport expansion. And after making a lot of noise there, we then went off to our secret, undisclosed location. And we took over the whole of the A4, the Bath Road, in a massive convoy. Massive big ups, it was amazing. And we got to very near to the place that we were going to be. The police were there waiting for us.
They blocked it for us.
They do, yeah, so basically, they had already blocked the entrance for us. So they were doing our job for us. So we decided, since the police were doing such a good job of blocking the road, we would go and block the road somewhere else. So we cycled off and we basically did a few rounds of a big roundabout, stopped loads of traffic, there was a lot of carnage, the police weren't sure what we were doing, and then we went from there onto a bridge over the entrance to the runway, to the airport, where we were going to be. We dropped some banners there, we took some photos, did more talking and more blocking of roads, and then from there we went on to a village called Longford, which is actually just kind of opposite the detention centre. And the village of Longford is a place that people don't really hear about, but that village will be completely desecrated, will be completely flattened if the plans for the runway go ahead. And we had the fantastic, I don't know if Christine's still here, but we had Christine from Stop Heathrow Expansion who talked to us, there she is, who explained to us the importance of stopping in that village. I don't know if you wanted to say a few words about it, it'd be good to hear you. Well, not the people in the flash mob, so maybe that would be quite cool. And we talked there about why it was important to stop in that village, and then we decided to do an impromptu die-in solidarity with the dying that's happening inside the airport, and in solidarity with the hundreds of thousands of people who are losing their lives already due to the impacts of climate change, and also in solidarity with the residents of that village who will lose their homes completely. And then we went back to Colnbrook, and then we came back here. Amazing. There are loads more stories I'm sure to hear. Was it fun?
It was so much fun. Everybody that saw it, we caused a lot of traffic to stop and take notice.
Thank you. So, as you know or might not know, this action today is in collaboration with loads of other actions that have been happening against airport expansion all around the world. There's another one in Austria and Vienna at the moment that's also called Stay Grounded, that is happening at the moment, and we'll hear from them when they're finished this evening. We've got people who have been taking action in Mexico, in Turkey, in Montreal, in soon in France at the ZAD. We'll hear about that soon. We'll hear from London Mexico Solidarity in just a minute. We've got people who haven't been taking action against the anti-aviation expansion campaign.
but who are in Berlin having a big meeting for stopping the coal industry that is currently going on in Germany, and they've sent a massive message of solidarity and video. And unfortunately we can't show it because we don't have a projector here. Later we'll see it. And I just want to read out a message that came through yesterday from the people in Turkey. So if you just give me 1 minute. So, greetings from Istanbul, Turkey, to those of you who are resisting against airport expansion and climate change. We are Northern Forest Defence, an activist initiative who commits itself to the protection of the ecological interconnected and diverse forestry region extending from Sapanca to Stranza Mountains. This ancient forest that has stood for centuries is currently under the threats of ecocide projects, so-called mega projects including the third airport in Istanbul, a nuclear power plant, several coal power plants, quarries and mines. We are well aware that we are not the only ones struggling against the alliance between corrupt politicians and greedy companies. Our anger towards this notorious alliance is everywhere. We do know that our world under the epoch of neoliberalism is filled with despair. Yet, all around the world, people are raising their voices to show another world is possible. Hope is everywhere. We learn from our struggle that when anger and hope come together, it flourishes into the beauty of resistance. From Vienna to Istanbul, Dakota to Nantes, London to India, Mexico to Indonesia, resistance is everywhere. We are the Northern Forest Alliance We, as the Northern Forest Alliance Defence, are sending our solidarity to dreamers of another world, keepers of other stories all around the world. And we are warning those who dare to pillage nature. Defenders of life are closing ranks against the never-ending greed of capital everywhere. Throughout the Global Action Week, activists will be rising up against one of the playgrounds of capital. Airport projects and the airport industry in Mexico, Austria, Canada, France and the UK, as well as other countries, and this will be just the beginning. And airport projects are destroying rural areas and forests and making cities inhabitable, do not only consume resources necessary for life with their considerable greenhouse gas emissions, but they are also among the biggest perpetrators of climate change. For our future, for the future of all living creatures and nature, today the cry of enough that rises from the northern forests of Istanbul against the third airport and the domination of greedy capital resounds as Ya Basta in Mexico. This call is adding to the strength of ZAD, who have been resisting the Notre-Dame-des-Landes airport in France for many years. It reaches to you, defenders of life in the UK, resisting against airport expansions. We stand together with defenders of life everywhere who are organising to enable a different world against the attacks of capital, and we will continue to fight together. Yeah! And now we're going to hear from London Mexico Solidarity. They've come to report a message that has come over from Mexico in Atenco, who are also resisting airport expansion. Is anyone from London Mexico Solidarity here? Great.
I like the earrings. Yeah, I like that. I like
Okay. Hi, we are London Mexico Solidarity. We are a Zapatista support group that has been active in London for almost 20 years. Wow, so much energy, yay! We have been in solidarity with what's happening here in the UK against airport expansion, and we have been trying to make the links with people in Atenco, that is a town in Mexico that has been resisting airport expansion for 15 years. So when we were approached by people from Reclaim the Power to join this protest, we talked to people in Mexico and asked them to send a few words. So they sent a very, well, not very, but kind of long letter that explains what they are doing, and they are sending a message in solidarity with you, which is good because we always think that solidarity is not only from the global north, as you say, to the global south, but the two ways. So for us it's very important to be here, and it's also very important for people in Atenco to know that people in the UK are fighting. That one of the responses we have was like, oh, it's really good to know that people in the first world are also resisting, you know, because sometimes in Mexico we think that in the first world, as we call it, there are no problems and people are not resisting. So for them to know that there are people resisting here is also very important.
So we are conscious that repression can escalate, and we are the last ones who would wish for another Red May like we had in 2006. The conditions we live in today are complex after all that has happened in the past 15 years. However, for us it is inconceivable to hand over our Mother Earth. It is inconceivable to give ourselves over to defeat when we love life and we refuse to live submissively, enslaved to a false development. We want to live in peace. We want our children to have the possibility of and joy of being able to plant and care for trees and rows of corn, beans, etc., and to be able to access water as a right, and to have the freedom that we are granted as the owners and guardians of the land. Despite the many months they've spent constructing it, the deadly airport is destined to succumb, because the true calling of these lands, which previously were the Great Lake of Texcoco, are meant to be filled with water again. The territory that has already been mistreated, and they want to use it for roads, for property developers, and the devastation of our social fabric. We, like you, know that solidarity is a moral force, that in difficult moments is capable of lifting us up and making the impossible possible. And so we affirm the dignity that you have shown in denouncing the catastrophe that these deadly capitalist projects bring with them in every corner of the globe. The struggle that you have undertaken strengthens our spirits, because then we know that we are much more than two peoples resisting and claiming the dignity of life. We are enormously grateful for you to speak of our struggle, and we want you to know that we will also talk about what is happening on this side of the world in Mexico. Finally, we call on international solidarity from all those countries that President Enrique Peña Nieto might visit, and we call on them to condemn him for the various crimes against humanity that he has committed since he was governor in 2005, and that he continues to commit as president today.
Fuera Peña Nieto.
Peña Nieto out.
Tierra y vida sí, aviones y despojo no.
Yes to land and life, no to planes and the plundering of land.
Vivos se los llevaron, vivos los queremos.
Alive they took them, alive we want them back.
Zapata vive, la lucha sigue.
Zapata lives, the fight continues.
Frente de Pueblos en Defensa de la Tierra, 1 de octubre de 2016.
From the Front of People in Defense of the Land, on this 1st of October 2016.
Atenco vive, la lucha sigue.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot to have that solidarity and to be able to offer that solidarity both ways, and I hope that it can encourage us to link up more with struggles that are happening around the world and all the struggles that are interlinked too. It's not just about climate change, it's about all the things that are the causes and consequences of it. So now we're also going to hear from what's happening in France, near Brittany at Notre-Dame-des-Landes and at the ZAD by Koen.
Hello. Well, I'm from the ZAD and I'm the only one here, I think, I'm not sure. But it's a little bit of a difficult moment for at this moment because there is a possible eviction coming soon in the ZAD. But first, before talking about this a little bit, I really want to express my happiness that I could be here today, and I found this action today really nice. I want to have a big cheer for all the people that organized it and that took part in it. And not only today, but also so many other things are happening, and also in France we can see so many other things happening in the UK and all over the world, and so much more solidarity between the different anti-aviation struggles. And so maybe a big cheer for that as well. And so about the ZAD, it feels like the right place to talk about it in this inspiring place, Grow Heathrow. This is the first time that I've been here and it looks amazing. But first I want to see a little bit if people who went to the ZAD already can put up their hands, because I don't want to speak alone all the time. Okay, I see a couple of them. Perfect. So maybe these people can, if they want to, maybe shout out the word that how they felt about the ZAD being there, that I can repeat in the microphone.
Naked lake swimming.
Naked lake swimming. It's a nice start. Are there others?
Massive.
Huh? Massive.
Creative.
Creative. Huh?
Inspiring.
Empowering, inspiring. Cool. Well, so there's a lot of people that don't know the ZAD yet as well, I think. So maybe just a little bit of history. I'm not going to take that long. I'm a little bit tired as well after today. So the ZAD is a region in France. Well, although there's a couple of people that tell or that say that the ZAD is an occupied territory, it's not part of of France. France is a territory between the ZAD and Belgium. So it's a territory of 4,000 acres, so it's quite big, and there is more or less 250 people living there permanently. And oh, it's going to rain. Nice. And so these people, they started. It started in 1969. A little bit of history. Yeah? In 1969, there were the first plans of an airport, or building an airport in Notre-Dame-des-Landes. And in 1969, there was also the first farmers, mostly farmers that were not occupying, but resisting the building of the airport. And it's only about in 2003 that there were the first people occupying buildings there. And that is a really important one, and that's also the importance of international solidarity, is that in 2008 there was a climate camp in England, and there were a couple of people from the ZAD, from France, that were attending this climate camp, and they thought that might be a really good idea. So in 2009 they did a climate camp in the ZAD of Notre-Dame-des-Landes, and then it's when it started. So at that moment there was a call for occupation for all the empty buildings that were already there. And a lot of people stayed. So at that moment there were 80 people that stayed. Now we were 250. And because of that thing in 2009, that there were so many people that stayed, well, the state became a little bit more nervous as well, and they wanted to build the airport again. So in 2012 they tried to evict the zone. And at that moment there were also 80 people. But they said in a press conference before that if they start evicting the zone, then 1 month later we come back and we retake the zone. So 1 month later there was a manifestation, and there were 40,000 people from all over that came and that just retook the zone. So that was a moment that was really victorious and really, really strong feeling as well. And so from 2012 they left us alone, and so things continued, and we built it up until 250 people with a lot more experience and really trying to build this other way of living together, which really works. Well, it almost works. It's in a constant transition, of course. It's always experimenting, it's always moving forward. But we are moving forward. And well, now a little bit of recent history maybe, is that they want to build an airport still. And in this summer, they had a consultation, a referendum, they called it in France. It wasn't a referendum because the EU, they said that it wasn't legal, the referendum. So they said, okay, we're doing a consultation. It wasn't legal because it wasn't neutral. And this referendum or this consultation, the idea was to really get the people, or to really be able to use democracy as a thing to evict the zone. there were 55% that voted for the airport, and so from then on they started calling it, well, the people have spoken, so we have to evict the zone. So now there is more and more threats to evict, and the threats are really real. There is a lot of rumors and there is a lot of facts for the moment about the ZAD, about the evictions. So for example, around the zone, the hotels are booked, the schools are closed, there is the hunters, they can't come on the zone anymore. And there is a lot of other things that are happening, but we feel the threat really strongly. So why I'm standing here is for a couple of reasons. One is that I really love to be here and I really love to see this place, and I really wanted to be on this action today as well, and to see how it goes here as well, and to learn, and also to make a call out for people who want to come to the zone and to come and defend that place as well. That has become, well, really in France, and I hope also outside of France, a real hope for people that something else is possible, and a real hope and a really strong place, and a place that shows that something else really is possible. And so we wanted another 2012. We want another 2012 where we are victorious again, and where we can show that the occupation is, and that the land is really for the people, and it's communal, and not for building an airport and putting everything down. So there is a big manifestation the 8th of October. It's really soon, I know. There is, and we hope that there will be 40,000 people again. The big manifestation, the idea is that people bring their sticks and bring a, I don't know how it's called here. It's a stick for sheep herders, so it's not, a crook. Okay. And so that people bring a stick to the zone and they plant it on the zone and pledge that they will come back to collect that stick when the eviction starts. And so the 8th, there is already quite a lot of people coming from England, so maybe there is a lot more that I can find here. I don't know the thing that's Wednesday. So there is a group leaving on Wednesday, and there is a group leaving on Thursday. On Wednesday and Thursday, it's at 2 o'clock at noon. It's in my notebook. No,
8 p.m.
It's at 8 p.m. to leave, and it's arriving at 2 p.m. Arriving at 2 p.m. in Nantes.
What time is it? When's it leaving?
It's leaving at 8 p.m. on Wednesday or 8 p.m. on Thursday. There are a couple of people leaving Wednesday and a couple of people leaving on Thursday. London Victoria with Megabus. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I hope that I will see a lot of you there as well. I wanted to say something more, but I don't see. Maybe Dom can say something more about it. A couple of days ago, there was a guy that talked about an occupation here that has a possible eviction as well, because there is, of course, it would be lovely to see a lot of people at the ZAD, but I think it's also really important to have a lot of people in occupations here in the UK that are happening now as well. That's also a little bit the slogan of the ZAD, ZAD partout, ZAD everywhere. So I think one ZAD is really not enough. We need a lot more. So maybe, I don't know if Dom is up to saying something about that. And thank you very much again for today.
Hello. There's not really much to say on it at the moment, other than that in Deptford at the moment there's some community gardens that have been running for a while that the council and the police want to evict. At the moment we don't have too much information, as plans haven't really been finalised as to what's going on with that. But as soon as we do know some more, perhaps I can ask that we'll put it on the Grow Heathrow website, so if you keep an eye on there, we can put updates on there. Thanks.
Thank you. So there's just a few more things before this ends. There's going to be photos that are going to be shown on a projector of what's been happening during the day, including little affinity group scribble actions that people might not have been aware of. Tonight at the back venue over there where there'll be music, so stay for that. Also, there's a call out for a computer with an SD card with some video recording stuff. So if someone could lend that, and we can start like sending out videos already to people in Vienna to...
I'll lend mine.
Great. We need people to cook still over there because dinner will be served pretty soon. There's also, after this, a tour of Go Heathrow for anyone who's interested in what's going on here. That will leave right from here. But if anyone's interested, there's a solidarity photo that'd be nice to take outside of the Go Heathrow gates with London Mexico Solidarity to send over there. So yeah, photo, tour, cook. And if anyone's got smartphones and is up for retweeting, reposting with the hashtag Stay Grounded, get it out there as much as possible. And we're going to have...
One really tiny thing, there's some keys were found on the cycle route.
Keys were found on the cycle route. Find her.
Small
Cool.
bunch of keys.
If you found keys, if you need keys, find me. And Sal.
It's alright, Sammy. You've done my job for me. You've done all the announcements.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. It's magnificent.
A massive round of applause for everyone who's been taking action around the world and everyone who's here now. So, what?
Say one more thing. Okay, say that.
Cheers, applause.
So, I just want to say one thing. The other day, there's like that British Heart Foundation fight for every heartbeat. So I agreed with the sentiment. So I said, I've done it before, but I said if someone chucks us £1, the next one I'll give you a pasty, and then we make the sponsor me a £5. So I've done the marathon, but aside long for that, I thought I'll set up a crowdfunding one. Some scouts has come down here a little while ago, all supporting the cause, so I dedicated it to her. A little bit of a higher standard, so don't be too over ambitious, wanting £200, but it's dedicated to her. Someone said they're in need of some people next week or next month, if anyone might get arrested, 100 people willing to get arrested, so that sort of funds there for people like that. So the girls have had final say on where the money goes. So if anyone does have that sort of, I know likes to get forgotten when we get inside, letters forgot missing and all, especially the good side, you know, there's some criminals out there get away with murder, you know what I mean? So the good bunch, if anyone wanted to chuck a quid in or something, go down the back of your sofa you find it. It's Just Giving, crowdfunding, one team, one love. That's you guys. Thank you.
Party!
Roll up, etc. So dinner will be around 7 PM. Everyone's welcome to eat. It's a vegan dinner, so there's no meat in it. Hooray! And there's no dairy in it. Hooray! No tortured cows. No frustrated chickens. No perforated pigs. No sundered sheep. No something fish. Yeah, there we go, no horse's heads. So we've got dinner, then, because we're all a disciplined bunch, we'll all trip down to York Space for some open mic. If you'd like to perform, it'd be ideal if you come and spoke to me. Yeah, I know, it's a long shot, isn't it? Mary, how about Mary? Yeah, and then come, if you want to perform tonight, come and speak to me, it'll be about 7:30. And Sheila wants to end with one thing, so round of applause for Sheila, and not for me.
I'm just... Yeah, okay, so massive thank you, actually, is what I wanted to say, to the residents of Grow Heathrow for enabling us, for inviting Reclaim the Power to be able to use this space, not just as a base, but for the party this evening, for supporting us in so many ways and being part of this action. This isn't just about Reclaim the Power, this is about all of us working together for a common cause and a common aim. We all want to fight for climate justice, and we're all doing this together, and we need to be doing more bridging of links and working together if we're going to win this. Until we win. So I just want to mention, if anybody wants to get, Reclaim the Power has a national gathering which is happening in about 3 weeks on the 22nd of October in Lancashire. The next thing that we're going to be mobilising for is around fracking. There are flyers here that you can collect. I think most of you have got some, but yeah, check that out. There's a national gathering in Lancashire. So if you want to come and be part of that, all these campaigns are all connected. They are not separate, and we need to make sure we keep seeing that. So just to remind everybody, big up to all of you who took part in today's action. And now we just want to say, okay, so the photo is happening outside. We want to get that now before the light goes. This is perfect light for the photograph. And then there is going to be a tour. Who's leading the tour? Okay, Marie's leading, she's over there. tour for Grow Heathrow, but if we could all do the photo, the solidarity photo at the front first, that would be amazing if you want to be part of it. And then the tour is going to happen immediately afterwards. Thank you, everyone, and let's have a fucking great party tonight!
I might be way back. Now.
You need to hold it higher.
It's all people.
Okay, so everyone, yeah, just looking at here.
Get more people. Guys, being like we support vegans and stuff, like let's scrap the cheese. It's all about Grow Heathrow, okay? No cheeses. On the count of 3, it's Grow Heathrow. Yeah?
Yeah. Or maybe Mexico? Atenco? No airport.
We have a saying which is Atenco vive,
Atenco.
la lucha sigue.
Guys, there is no cheese.
Okay.
Fish. Listen to
Atenco vive, la lucha sigue. Atenco vive, la lucha sigue. Atenco vive, la lucha sigue.
Atenco vive, la lucha sigue. Atenco vive, la lucha sigue. Sigue.
Thanks, guys.
No new runways, no ifs, no buts. 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 No new runways, no ifs, no buts.
Beautiful faces. I'm going to be kind of taking a lot of you on the tour if you need it. Come and meet me just over there near where the shower block is. In about 2 seconds, because I need to refill my glass or my teapot as is.